Listening to Spanish is the most important activity when it comes to learning Spanish. And with tons of free podcasts, you get tons of free material. I'm Paulísima, Spring Spanish teacher, and in this video you will find out some of the most useful podcasts para mejorar tu español. And the first one is number 1, Spanish and Go with May and Jim. Showcasing primarily Mexican accent, Spanish and Go with May and Jim teaches Spanish through natural conversations about travel, culture, and the conversations are between a native Spanish speaker and a Spanish student. May y Jim son una pareja internacional, mexicana gringo, y tienen la misión de conectar a los hablantes de inglés con el mundo de la lengua hispana. Los conocí recientemente en Día de Muertos de 2022 en una reunión de creadores de contenido de lenguaje. Descubrí que Jim y May no solamente son excelentes maestros y creadores de contenido, también son unas personas adorables. Hey, before I continue, make sure to download the free Essential Spanish Chunking Kit in the link in the description. It contains tons of useful Spanish chunks that you can start using right now. Ok, como les iba diciendo, Jim and May co-host their weekly educational podcast, Learn Spanish and Go. They share travel tips and language tips as well. And they also organize these amazing Spanish immersion retreats in Mexico. I've heard they're really cool. I actually saw them at the end of one of these retreats in Guanajuato. Guanajuato is a lovely place, the perfect. I couldn't think of a better place to be immersed in Mexican culture and, of course, Spanish. Cada episodio tiene materiales adicionales disponibles en su membresía de podcast, como transcripciones interactivas y una sección detallada en inglés que cubre las palabras y frases más importantes de cada episodio. Nota importante. May habla español súper claro, con un acento muy neutro y una velocidad perfecta, incluso para estudiantes principiantes. Me encanta su voz. Trust me, if we all spoke Spanish like she does, everybody would have an easier time learning Spanish. I'm going to be in their podcast very soon, and Jim and May are going to be here at Spring Spanish very soon. We had a great time talking about the quite controversial ways Mexicans use to give people nicknames. Porque somos así. Anyway, to learn more about Mexican culture and how strange it can be sometimes, you can check out this video. Número 2. How to Spanish Podcast. Ana and David, the host of Have to Spanish podcast, have created over 200 episodes where they discuss all kind of interesting topics like language and culture and many more. Their Spanish is Mexican and the topics they cover are incredibly diverse. Esta es la razón por la que recomiendo su podcast. I also had the opportunity to meet David and Ana and they're so cool. Me encanta su podcast porque cubren temas muy variados. Cubren gramática, historia, cultura, hechos interesantes, etc. Me gustan mucho las entrevistas a los papás de Ana, donde hablan sobre sus experiencias de vida. Listening to intergenerational conversations in Spanish is great listening practice and it's one that you don't get often. El contenido de Ana y David es fenomenal. Me encanta. How to Spanish podcast is everywhere. You can find them with that name on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. They're also on YouTube. They're also on Discord and Twitch. Yeah, they're everywhere. And nota importante. Su página web es súper fácil de navegar, lo cual se agradece de corazón. Another thing that's appreciated is your subscription to this channel. In case you haven't done it, come on, do it right now. It's the perfect time. Número 3. Coffee Break Spanish. Coffee Break Spanish es un divertido podcast bilingüe español-inglés. Este podcast está estructurado como un curso de idiomas clásico y se divide en 4 secciones. Sección 1, para principiantes. Sección 2, para el nivel intermedio bajo. Sección 3, para el nivel intermedio superior. Sección 4, para usuarios avanzados. Sección 5, no es cierto, no hay sección 5. I was just making sure you were paying attention. Were you? With Coffee Break Spanish, you can start as a beginner and take it from there and slowly build up until you become part of their advanced learners. You'll hear language teacher Mark and his student talking about diverse topics, very interesting as well, in each episode. Además de los podcasts gratuitos, también tienen un curso en línea con un costo, con lecciones de audio y video y las transcripciones asociadas. Número 4. Duolingo. La aplicación de aprendizaje de idiomas Duolingo es muy popular y una primera parada para las personas que quieren comenzar a aprender español. So, it makes sense that Duolingo also offers a podcast. El podcast en español de Duolingo es bilingüe, inglés-español, por lo cual es fácil de comenzar para los principiantes. You'd probably expect that the podcast of an app is going to be more like a traditional course, but El podcast en español de Duolingo es mucho más que eso. Cuenta historias fascinantes en un español fácil de entender. Número 5. Spanish Pod 101. Con 1800 episodios, este es uno de los podcasts en español más extensos que existen. What's great about Spanish Pod 101 is that you're learning from a range of Spanish speakers from different parts of the Spanish-speaking world, for example, Costa Rica, Peru, and Mexico. That way, you can get a better feel of how they speak Spanish in different regions. Te sorprendería la cantidad de palabras nuevas o de chunks que encontrarías al escuchar hablar español a alguien de Costa Rica. Spanish Pod 101 has great quality audio lessons with different hosts from the beginner's level all the way up to the advanced. Número 6. Spring Spanish. Un podcast con lecciones diseñadas en torno al concepto conversation-based chunking. I'm a teacher here, so of course I'm biased, but regardless, this is a great resource if you want to learn through fun dialogues, lessons, and role plays. There are tons of lessons on a variety of topics, including Spanish for traveling, Latin culture, grammar, Mexican culture, tons of things. Cada episodio se basa en una lección de español real de este canal de YouTube. We made it into this format because it's easier to consume on the go. Transcripts and flashcards with the most important chunks are available as part of a membership. There's a free trial available too. All information is going to be in the description. You should totally try it out. Número 7. Radio Ambulante. Radio Ambulante is an award-winning podcast in Spanish that uses long-form audio journalism. It's a pioneer podcast in Spanish that presents Latin American chronicles. Ofrecen diferentes temas como noticias, charlas, música, entretenimiento y mucho más. The level is pretty advanced and the podcast is not necessarily aimed at Spanish students. If you're at a high intermediate level, this is a great resource to expand your vocabulary. Cada episodio incluye una transcripción. Another great medium to improve your Spanish listening skills are YouTube channels. In the next part of this lesson here, Cory is going to show you 8 YouTube channels for you to take your Spanish to the next level.